Thank you for watching the Hexspa channel, where you get to-the-point music making tutorials and original music uploaded every Monday. If you haven't, click subscribe and the bell icon for notifications. How the mighty have fallen. Not long ago, Ableton was known as the trendy option for young producers. Innovation was their competitive advantage. While many fanboys think nothing has changed, I disagree. Ableton 10 is a catch-up sandwich. I've been using Live since around version 7. But while working at Guitar Center in Ventura Boulevard around 2002, I can remember seeing Live 1.5 in the box. The coolest part about Live back then for me was the ability to trigger drum samples from triggers as easily as possible. Fast forward nearly 15 years later, they've made some improvements. Or have they? With the release of Live 10, scheduled for early 2018, which is just around the corner, it goes without saying that many features have been added. Live 10 brings us wavetable, added utility and EQ functionality, as well as Max for Live integration and arrangement workflow enhancements that I'm sure many of you will enjoy. While these additions might have sucked me in a few years ago, I've since moved on to greener pastures. Many of Live's new features are actually not all that new. Favorites folders, known as collections in Live 10, clip stretching, and nested grouping have all existed in Reaper for quite some time. I've never found most DAWs to be that visually appealing. While Live has made some improvements in that area, it hasn't changed much. On the contrary, they've made it as blocky as possible, as though they've left the accessibility features on, or they're trying to appeal to the visually impaired. Nevertheless, a blind squirrel finds the occasional nut, and Ableton has done just that. I really like that I don't have to chain two utilities together to get a sound to fade down to 0. And while I think it's pointless to have an EQ that goes down to 10 Hz, I mean, who really asked for that feature? They've added stereo panning as well as a bass mono option inside of utility. On the other hand, this is not new stuff, and it's not something that other people haven't done better. So why is everybody so excited? Take a look at Reaper, for instance. Need a wavetable synth? Get Serum, and you've got the best in the business. Not to mention being able to use it in other hosts, or not having to pay for the $750 suite version just to access it. While Ableton is making a lot of mixing workflow improvements, nobody I know considers Live to be a fully functioning mixing program. Live likes to overly generalize and then not even give you the full experience on everything that they do. It leaves everything feeling less than complete. It's as though they deliberately leave out features so they'll have something to charge you for when the new version comes out. I really don't like how Ableton feels to be releasing a ketchup sandwich on their own time. With all the third-party developments and cheaper host options, it feels like a 4-course meal served up at a fast food joint curated by a bunch of lunch ladies. Sure, it'll fill your plate, but it's not going to be like the gourmet option that you have down the street. Ableton is a relatively large company with a massive user base, and I'm sure they have some of the best minds in development on their team. So why are they releasing what feels to be crippled features and then charging you top dollar for them? I would like to see industry debut features like predictive folders, so when you go looking for your favorite EQ, Live will present you options which will potentially be better for that job. It would have been fantastic if they would have used Nenad Milosevic's redesign options and heralded in the new age of music programming technology. Frankly, they lost me on this one, but I hope that in the future they'll be able to reel me in with something that feels like it's worth the $240. Speaking of upgrades, having a hard time finding valuable content on YouTube that'll get you back to making music as quickly as possible? Well, you have found your channel. I make music making tutorials geared toward the home studio owner. I also make original music, and I release all my stuff on Monday. so you can subscribe. I have a Patreon, which will give you early access to content, additional downloadable resources, and if you donate enough, you can have private lessons with me, as well as hand-engraved sheet music. Check my official music playlist. You can also check the 8-Bar Embryos playlist, which is a bunch of music that I'm making designed to help me improve. Also sign up for the Hexspa newsletter, and I'll send you music for free, as well as letting you know when I release new content. So that's it. Hopefully that was helpful. Go ahead and click subscribe. Give me a like if you liked it, thumbs down if you don't like it. Leave a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.